1 second, people. Can't see. Hello, my boy Joa. Cannot see to save my life. Much better. Hi, everyone. Lady underscore B011. Hi, TikTok family. I got a little cold that I got from my Hello Musty KC1 that I got from my 14-year-old, which is, but y'all, come on in, say hello, come on in, say hello, come on in, say hello. Hello, Mr. Henry, how are you? Y'all, I need to show you this. Can you see that? Can you see this? This is from, let me see if I can stand up a bit. Orange shorts. Can y'all see? This is from Miss Pam. I was like, what? I'm making sure. Oh. Hello. How are you? I got to the office today, and I had a package waiting on me. Opened it up, and this is what I found in it. I was like, I'll be damned. Like, what? Y'all, I'm telling you. Hello, God's favorite 82. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. Needed to take some time off. Y'all see, I don't know if Miss Pam is joining us now, but isn't that cool? This is the black. She sent me a white one as well. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Isn't that cool? Like this, I think she went to Niger. So brought this with her. That is the cutest thing ever. That is, and I don't know. Hello, Mr. Professor. I was like, listen, it's hard to make me speechless. So it was really, really good. But anyway, hello, Morano 72. How are you? Hello, Mr. Professor. Come on in. If you are just joining us for the first time, welcome. I love it. That was just really thoughtful of her. Like, I'm telling you, my clients literally become my family. It's like having new family members, because even way after the case is over, for people to still remember you, because Miss Pam finally got to see her daughter she hasn't seen in 8 years. 8 long years. I was going to say something else, but 8 years. This is why I do the work that I do. Just imagine. And she didn't tell her daughter she was coming. She actually surprised her. So even much better. But we thank God for his grace. Thank God for his mercies. Thank God for being. Hello, Mr. Maggie. What? Did rapture happen? Well, I hope rapture didn't happen and leave me behind, because what? He joined in. But anyway, if you are just joining us for the first time, welcome in. We come together as a community of immigrants, supporting one another. Every Tuesday and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. We talk all things immigration. I answer questions. Sometimes, happy to have you on. How is your wife doing? Sometimes we do just question nights. And we were off last Thursday because my babies, I mean 20 and 14-year-old, had spring break. So yeah, always a good time. Always good to have some time with my kids. Like, that's my number one priority. Well, child of God, and then child of God, Abby, mommy, and then lawyer, in that order. Hi, Miss Ella Sanctuary. But anyway, let us know where you're joining us from. Miss Ella Sanctuary, look at what Miss Pam sent me. Can you imagine? Let me stand there. I'm so stoked about it. Look at what Miss Pam sent. Isn't that cool? Like, if you know me, you know I'm Bling. Like, just listen. My middle name is Bling. Hello, Alan Girl. How are you? Anyway, so let us know where you're joining us from. Put it in the comment section. And if you've got questions, please wait till the end. We answer questions at the end of whatever topic we have to discuss. Do not repeat your questions. Joining from Kansas, welcome Ian, Chris K. Okay, I'm not sure if that's a G, that's pronounced G or like Y. Joining from Texas, we know. Can I change my name to Celia? No, you cannot. But anyway, please do not repeat questions. Put your questions in the comment section, and I will try to get to as many questions as possible. Let's see. Okay. All right. So if you haven't started, hello, Miss Lucy. If you're not following us on any of our social media platforms, please do share this video. You just never know. You just never know who is going to benefit from it. So please share, like, follow, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Olale Immigration. Excuse me, people. I'm just recovering from a cold. Like when you spend too much time with TJ, you always will find, if he gets a cold from school, within the week I will get it. Like, it's like, a child that is just tied to your hip. That's it. That's me and my baby. But anyway, 334-341-4475. That is our contact number. info@olalealawfirm.com. You can also visit our website at olalealawfirm.com. We'll be glad to represent you. And congratulations to Ms. E, whose VAWA case got approved yesterday. We filed that case in December 2021. Initially, she had filed a previous case that was denied, a regular marriage case. So we're very concerned. I told her, I remember when we started her kids back in 2020, I was like, we're going to get an RFE. I'm not sure how bad it's going to be, but brace yourself. But I was like, well, we'll agree in faith that, we can do this, but it won't be shocking if we get an RFE. Y'all, when I tell you we did not get an RFE in that case, and we were equally shocked, like, what? Like, yeah, but that's how God works. So congrats to Ms. E and everybody who got their work permits and all that today. We love to celebrate our immigrants. We love to celebrate one another. I've gone through the process, understand what it feels like, understand the emotions and anxiety, all the feelings that go along with that. And that's why this time that we're in, where it's so anti-immigrant, the atmosphere, we just have to stick together. And that's why I love this space. Because with everything that's going on, it's almost like we come together and we're able to block out all that noise. So let me see. Okay. Can y'all hear me okay on TikTok? Yes, no? Can someone let me know if you can hear me okay on TikTok? Someone said I can't hear you. I'm not seeing anything wrong. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Alima. All right, let's talk immigration. What are we talking about tonight? So yeah, if you haven't been listening to the news, I don't know where you've been, but one question that I get a lot of is it safe to travel? Can I travel? Can I go visit my family in Canada? Can I go to Nigeria? Can I go to Ghana? Can I go to Jamaica? I haven't seen my son in a while. Will I be able to come back in? Okay, so I'm telling you, the thing is this. So let's talk about traveling. So we're talking about, is it too risky to travel? Too risky to travel. Is it too risky to travel during this time? And the reason why I want to address this is this. When we get to a point where people who are contributing to the United States economy and the growth of the country are denied entry into the country, I'm not sure where we're heading with that, yeah, okay, because it's shocking. So case in point, there is this, let me see if I can pull up her name. Okay, Dr. Rasha is her, Rasha Alawi is her name. Works in Brown University. Went home to visit her parents in Lebanon, and she's on an H-1B visa. What H-1B visa basically is, a work visa that allows you to work for a specific employer during a set time, usually up to three years at a time. You can renew for another 3 years. It's actually, we have the 2026 fiscal year registration going on now. So it allows you to work and be here legally to work for a specific employer on that visa as long as it is valid. She started working, I believe it was last year, and her H-1B status was good up until 2027. Went home to visit with her parents in Lebanon, and was coming back. I want to say, Chicha, what day was it? Hold on one second. I want to say it was 3 days ago, and I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But she was trying to. She came back in. Hey, went to visit. This was about. So she got her visa stamp issued at the embassy on March 11. Headed back to the United States to continue her work at Brown University, and she was denied entry. She was denied entry back into the country. I'm not really sure what's going on, but if it's almost like people sabotaging themselves. This is someone who is not a criminal, someone who's not, wasn't here illegally. I'm not really sure what the rationale is, but she was turned back. Her lawyers filed an emergency petition with the court, but it looks like it came in too late, because she was already sent back and refused entry and deported back to Lebanon. This is someone who has been here working and went to school here, no issues, whatever. The only thing that makes sense to me, or the only thing that stands out to me, is because she's from a Muslim country. That's all. But if you are, you're like what you but this is what it looks like. You're going to, it's almost like you have an administration that is that's bent on harming even Americans with the work that immigrants are doing, just because they want to do this. They want to make a statement, because it's almost very clear that this is just anti almost everything. Anti-Africans, anti-Middle Easterns, anti-Hispanics, and this is a land that was stolen, dare I say it, from the Native Americans by the Europeans who call themselves Americans now. So if this person can be turned back and refuse entry into the country, that kind of like raises a whole lot of new level of not anxiety, not fear. That's not the point today. But so you are aware that if your travel, so is it too risky to travel with what is going on now? I would say there is concern about whether or not you're going to be allowed back into the country after a travel to, now within the country, there is no concern that much, but I'll get to that in a minute. But if you are making an international travel, with what is going on with people being stopped, with I addressed the people who have green cards about 2-3 weeks ago, the specific category of people with green cards that are being detained or refused entry, but generally a lot of people come back in. But now it looks like even those who have non-immigrant work visas that just got a visa stamp on the embassy, heading back to continue her work and now refuse entry, that's another level of craziness. So is it too risky to travel at this point? Dare I say it is? It would depend on, now hear me loud and clear. This is nothing specific to anyone's particular travel plans. This is just generally just so you're aware what's going on in the country, and to be able to decipher whether or not if it's necessary for you to travel. So at this point, what I'm telling my clients is, if it's not absolutely necessary for you to travel, or depending on each of my clients' specific situation, then we can figure out if it's advisable for them to travel or not. If there's going to be concern, for instance, if someone had a previous case and they need to travel and probably was denied because USCIS alleged that it was a fraudulent marriage and now we have to refile, I'm very weary with that kind of travel. If you are someone who's got a quote unquote straightforward, clean case with no issues, no criminal records, no even traffic violations, now is something I'm looking into. Then and you're not going for too long, then we can we can always talk about your specific case. But generally now, based on the atmosphere in the country, the temperature of what's going on, which we're seeing that unjustified denial of entry. And over the weekend, for instance, this administration invoked the Alien Enemy Act to deport a whole lot of immigrants claiming that they are part of a terrorist gang. Keep in mind that there was a judge over the weekend on Saturday. A judge entered. The courts are not open on weekend, but to tell you how urgent and emergent this situation is, there was a court order that was entered over the weekend that this administration blatantly defied. They still went ahead and completed all their deportation plans in spite of the court order. That's what we're seeing now. And so if you do not necessarily have to travel at this time, then hold off on your travel. It's probably going to be the best thing for you to do, unless it's something that you necessarily have to take. That is just my 2 cents in all of this. If you are traveling within the United States, please avoid states and or cities that are close to the border, or places, specifically territories like Puerto Rico, even Hawaii. Alaska is one state that there's just a heavy ice presence. So if you're traveling, be careful about going to places where you're going to encounter ice presence. If you've got a pending case, be sure to have your notices with you to show that you've got a pending case. Hold your EAD card. Asylum cases, for instance, authorized you to stay in the country, have your receipt notices with you. We are just seeing a lot of craziness. So if people that are supposed to be free from all of this craziness are denied entry into the United States, how much more people who don't actually have any status? So just, this is for your information. If you have an attorney on your case and you're planning any travel anytime soon, please talk to your attorney. They are in the best position to be able to give you an advice whether or not it's safe for you to travel. But this is generally so you're aware of what's going on at the border, people being denied, people who are being deported, who have valid visas, who've been here working and just on vacation. You know, you're planning on vacation, you already have plans, you know, obviously she had a set time to come back to work. And now you'll have this university that's thrown into trying to figure out how they're going to continue with her work. It's crazy. But just so you know, be informed, be aware, talk to an attorney. If you don't have an attorney in your case, then make sure you have a consultation done before you travel, and so that you can have an evaluation done and see based on, especially those who have immigration histories, like you've got a previous case that was denied, you want to make sure you get things covered before you leave the country. So that, and then if you're traveling within the United States, be aware of where you're going, because, you know, this other lady who runs a restaurant with her husband, and they're Middle Easterns as well. And their son, you know, they were in the news. She was just released on bond, I think last week. Been here many years, no issues, nothing. It was in Philadelphia. I don't even know, but let me even see. I think it was Philadelphia. I think it was Philadelphia. I'm not sure, but it's okay. New Jersey. It's scary what's going on. Not well, we refuse to be afraid, but we do this so you're informed and you're aware. Be aware, and just make sure you are doing what you can, being proactive. And also, if you are someone who has not filed anything yet, this is not the time. And I've said it was since this administration took office, and I'm going to reiterate, this is not the time to hold up and like, I want to be 2 years so I don't have to deal with conditional residency card. I'd rather you deal with a conditional card and have status than to risk being placed in deportation and be expeditiously removed, as we saw them do during the weekend in spite of a court order. So, no money can ask for you. I mean, a word is enough for the wise. Just be aware. I think right now it's just too risky to travel. I have a lot of colleagues that share the same sentiments and telling their clients, hey, if you don't necessarily have to. And I understand, not seeing your family. I have a client who wants to go back to Jamaica. She hasn't seen her son in 7 years. I don't anticipate any issues, knock on wood, but before she leaves, we're going to reevaluate what things are at the time she's leaving. I always tell my clients, I'm on standby whenever you're coming back in, because I need to know and make sure that you can get me. So I hope that you have attorneys who can do the same for you as well. So just be informed and just be informed, be informed and take the right decisions for your case and your family. All right, that's all she wrote, people. That's all she wrote. Okay, so let's get to as many questions as we can. Hello, Miss Christiana, how are you? Hello, Miss Mary. Good evening to you and your household as well. Hello, Jay. How are you doing? Hello, Miss Abena. How are you? Hello, Ola F. Yes, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Olaleye Immigration. That will be very much appreciated. Abby Lincoln. Okay, thank you for the updates. You're welcome. Please share. Will be very much. I love the jury said. Thank you. I got it in New Orleans because it's almost an addiction. There's some things I don't like. I am the kind of person who will wear. Thank you. I'm the kind of person who I will wear a $1 shirt. I'm not I'd rather see my money in the bank when it comes to clothes. That's just me. If people think I'm bougie and whatever, it just depends on what it is. But I wear a $1 shirt. But when it comes to jewelry, though, in my mind is, we listen, we don't judge when it comes to jewelry, because I love jewelry. I don't know why. I have so many necklaces and chains, but you hardly see me wear it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know, but I buy them. And put it on the jewelry stand, admire it, oh, okay. But yeah. Okay, so let's see. Hello, good evening. Is your attending this fashion? Miss Abena, did you see my shirt from Miss Pam? Let me stand up for those who are coming. I'm obsessed with this. I got to the office today, and can you see? Can you all see? I got to the office today, and I was blown away. But anyway, alrighty, let's go to TikTok. Put your questions in the comment section. Please do not repeat questions so that we can get through them. I need to go drink something hot because my throat hurts. I'm telling you. How does consular process work after VAD standalone approved and I had my son as derivative? Once it's been approved, you get your green card. You have to file an disclaimer. Nothing. Listen, I have a jury armor that does almost. I'm 5 foot tall, y'all. If you're like auntie, yes, we listen, we don't judge. And listen, that's what they made high heels for. But anyway, I have a jury armor that's like 410. It's craziness. But like I said, I can wear a $1 shirt. But when it comes to my I love gemstones a lot. I watch a lot of gemstones when I have free time. To each their own. Jewelry, sunglasses. I'm obsessed with glasses generally. Glasses generally. And handbags. Everything else it doesn't really matter. Yeah. This like this. Yes, I was. I don't know. This administration will purge certain people from American Democrats will do nothing to stop it. But anyway, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So you file an I-824 and so you're basically requesting USCIS to forward a copy of your file to the NVC to notify them that you have a derivative beneficiary who's going to apply for an immigrant visa based on the approved VAWA petition. And talking of VAWA cases, please hear me loud and clear. I had 2 consults today, 2 completely different people, where they got requests for evidence from USCIS. And initially, rather than use an attorney, they were trying to save money, but now it's going to cost them more than what they would have spent initially. 2 different immigration consultants, but they got a request for evidence for the children, and talking of the derivative beneficiaries, for the children that were included in their VAWA cases. Vermont Service Senate sent them RFEs because this immigration consultants on this one lives in New Jersey, the other one lives in Maryland. Just so happens both of them were scheduled were on my schedule today. They filed the consultants filed the I-360 petitions for the children, in addition to filing for the parents. So the parents have theirs, like the potential clients that are one who retained my services today because we have to respond, right? Has their own the fathers, but dads have their own I-360. And then the consultants filed I-360 petitions for the children. Now, abused children can file petitions. That's not the issue. The problem in this case, however, is this. These children were not abused by the step parent. They were just derivative beneficiaries. The children were not abused. One child, did not even live at all with the step parent because the mother is here as well. But the consultants filed separate petitions for the children, and so USCIS now came back and say, hey, there's no evidence of good faith, no evidence of shared residence, no evidence of abuse. What is your evidence, that you lived with a step parent and all that? And they were now confused, like, why is my child getting an RFE for their case and not mine? Well, the reason is the consultants had no business filing I-360 for the children because the children were not abused. They should have just been included in the I-360 petition for the parents as derivative beneficiaries. End of story. Filed I-485 based on just one single I-360. But here we are. RFEs for the children's cases that there really isn't anywhere around it besides withdrawing and asking them to transfer over to the parents' case. And hopefully they do that. If not, we're just going to have to amend that somehow. So if you have a child that is going to be included in your case, this is something for you to note, that there is no reason to file an I-360 separate for your child that is under the age of 21. That child is going to be included in your petition and would apply for adjustment of status or consular process if the child is not in the United States. Can I travel to Canada? That's what we just talked about now. So this video will be off so you can review, replay it. Hello, Shala's Kitchen. Anything about processing time, go on uscis.gov/processing times. Do I have to wait till I have a green card, or we should start the consulate process? You have to wait for your green card. What if someone was denied because of divorce documents before and refiled and have 10 years? Can he travel? Like I said, I'm not giving travel advice to anyone specifically. Go and replay this video. Right now, we talked about how risky it is to travel at this time. But if you have a lawyer on your case, please consult with your lawyer. They are in the best position to let you know whether it's safe for you to travel or not. You're welcome, Lee. Okay. Can we send a divorce decree which was corrected because of the absolute was typed in error to USCIS online account, corrected absolute date, error date? We had filed already before we discovered the error. Should we send the corrected absolute certified copy to USCIS? Did they ask for it? Did they ask for it? I mean, if they haven't asked for it, then hold on until they ask for it. And unless it's something that you think you need to put in. But when you start uploading unsolicited evidence, okay, I wouldn't. If you were my client, I'll just let's wait and see what happens. I'm hoping you have a lawyer on your case to know exactly what the error was in the first place, and because it looks like what. Okay, so a year. I hope you have a letter to also back it up. How often can you submit additional evidence for a marriage-based case? What do you mean, how often? Hello, Miss Helen. How are you? God's favorite. Once again, congratulations. We rejoice with you. We rejoice with you. We rejoice with you. Can I just say apply? Babatunde from Chicago, Illinois, welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Alan Gill. Yes. Hello, Mr. Kwakunle. How are you? I sent you an email earlier this evening. Check your email. Hello, Mr. Val. How are you? It's good to see you. Congratulations, Miss. Yes, very deserving of her because she. I got let's just see. I submitted my vow affidavit on the 25th of February. I have. Excuse me. Let me just say this real quick. If you are waiting on receipt notices from the vow office, sometime in 2023, we had that issue where it was taking up to 90 days for them to send receipt notices. We're seeing that trend again. So cases that are filed in January, not February, January, we got some of those receipt notices today. Renewal applications for EADs we filed at third, fourth week in January. We're just getting receipt notices for them today. So if you are waiting 60 days, it's not uncommon, unusual right now. I don't know what's going on. We're seeing receipt notices for regular marriage cases, any case that starts with the IOE, MSC. We're seeing those I-751, no issues. But with the VA cases, though, we're not seeing receipt notices coming earlier than 30 days. So if you are in that situation, there's nothing to fret based on what we're saying, because I want to say we got about 7 of our cases back that we filed back in January. The receipt notices came today. And sometimes, like, thank God that's why you delegate, because I was looking at a chance, I was like, I'm not doing it. Just sort it out. But I was happy to see that they were coming in. So just so you know, so if you filed something 25th of February, I'm not sure what you mean that by VA affidavit. Is it your VA petition? Was it a response to RFE? What exactly do you mean by that? So you said acknowledgement notice. If you sent out just a response to RFE, or you just sent in additional evidence, USCIS does not send acknowledgement notice. So there's nothing you're going to be expecting to receive. Anxiety and paranoia in the air right now is so much, but we can join faith with each other and pray for the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no one under the sound of under the breath of God. There's no one on this earth that God's breath has not spoken into existence. There's no one in power that God cannot take out. That's just what it is. There's no one no human that he has created can make themselves God. And so if it becomes too much for his children, there will be, I mean, yeah, I was going to say something, but let's just leave it on. Yes, Alan Gill, where two more shall gather concerning anything God's in the midst. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. That's one of the things I love about this space, I'm telling you. Like, say, not only citizen be the way out. Even I'm sure even some citizens are like, okay, should we travel? Should we not travel? I was just about to say that, Mr. Sanctor, like, okay, should we travel? Because the next thing you hear, you may have someone who will say, they may find an excuse to say a citizen is coming back and they didn't get the green card right. You just never know with this administration. By the time the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is releasing a statement admonishing the President of the United States, then you know that something is wrong with you. I mean, how many times have you heard the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court say anything against any president? I mean, I haven't heard it before. But by the time the Chief Justice is releasing a statement saying, like, come on now. In other words, like, you know better. Then there is something absolutely wrong. This is not a dictatorship. But, I mean, for those of us who are from countries like in Nigeria, like Ghana, like where we've experienced dictatorship in the past. I remember when I was in the University of Ilorin then, when Abacha passed away. People had parties for real. People literally had parties because it was bad. So I hope that this is not something that this country would ever experience. When is the most recent vow approval that you have seen? What do you mean when is the most recent? They packed some green card holders and one citizen, and even though they allowed them to go, but imagine if you can imagine. Hello, Miss Peggy. How are you? How about students on F1? If you don't have to travel, I'm just saying, if it's just too risky for you to travel, especially if you're someone who went to the embassy, they denied your F1 visa application, and you got maybe a B1, B2, and you came into the country, and then you change your status, and now you're an F1. Please sit your behind down and go nowhere, because just sit down. If they're going to deny an H-1B visa holder, a vastly trained medical professional from Brown University, deny her entry to the United States. Come on now. F1 is not anything for them. So now it doesn't mean everybody, because you're going to have people like, well, I just came through the border with no issues. Then obviously you're going to have people coming through with no issue, but I'm sure she was expecting to also coming through the border with no issues. So just so everybody is informed. That's it. Hello, Epic Movements. What's going on? Can you defend someone in deportation camp? I don't do detention work. My day was fine, Miss Peggy. How was yours? She's right on that. Always on standby. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate. I try. Oh, thank you, Miss Peggy. Hello, Miss Sophia. How are you? Hello, Femix. Femixus, I think. That's my brother's name. My older brother's name is Femi. Lua Femi. Is it Lua Femi? I think. I hope my mom is not listening. Like, it's Lua Femi. It's not Baba Femi. No, it's Baba Shola. Okay, it's Lua Femi. I'm not sure. Amosha Yusuf. My day was fine. Thank you for asking. Hey, Miss Abena. Yeah, she was on YouTube. Would it be an issue for a marriage-based green card if my U.S. citizen spouse and I live together before his divorce is finalized and we submit a lease and both our names during this? It won't be an issue. I don't see why it would be an issue. It would actually help your case. Greetings to the house. So thank you. Yeah. Miss Avena actually has hooked me up with extra aboniki. So I find that it helps me when I put it along my throat. And I'll put a little bit in either tea or hot cocoa. But listen, we don't judge. Hey, baby boy. Okay, I haven't tried ginger before. Exactly, Mr. Henry. Chief Justice Roberts. I haven't heard on executive matters, but if someone is if he's going to release a statement, that should call everyone's attention in the country. Because a judge says something and you disagree with it doesn't mean you could call for his impeachment. Are we back in a Abacha era? Like, what the heck is going on? Wow. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Sullivan. How are you? How is Green Card Life treating you? Hey, Mr. Kelvin. Hello, Mr. Kelvin. If not, you and I are still in the same boat. Still waiting for Mr. Right and Miss Right. I don't know if I'm waiting though, but my mom says God has to prepare any man that has to deal with me, that God has to prepare him specially. God has to put him in seclusion for a while to really strengthen him. Let me roll my eyes. It's not that bad. I promise it's not that bad. Hello, Anthony Senate. My day was fine. How was yours? One thing I know is that, like I was telling someone, I went on a date and I was telling, hey, do you expect the woman you're with to cook for you? Or you expect to be 50-50? And he goes, well, I don't expect to like it. That, that's a good thing. There was other reasons why we didn't go on second date. But that's just one thing I always say up front, like, be ready. We listen, we don't judge. All y'all Nigerian, African men and Jamaican men expecting a woman to cook for you, that's okay for you. For me, you're going to be hungry, because the reason I cook for my kids is because I don't want children's services to come get me. That's all. That's the only reason. Otherwise, they will. The other day, TJ says, why can't you make egusi? It calls egusi soup. Egusi, like Auntie Lamidi makes. Like, you can get on a plane and go to Auntie Lamidi's house. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Please. So, thank you, Miss Abdel. No worries. If I have a customary marriage certificate from Nigeria, this is because we had a Zoom wedding. Okay. But we live in the US together. Would this be an issue for a marriage-based agreement? How do you get a customer? I've never seen a customer marriage certificate, because customer marriage it doesn't have documentation. So I'm not sure what you mean by customary marriage certificate. I mean, are there some customary places that they give you? I've not just seen that before. Still on the lookout. Makes two of us. I know your mom is right. Let me roll my eyes again. And listen, been there, done that. I was married for 15 years. 15, yeah, 15 years too long. Yeah. So that cooking, nope, we're doing it. He will be very hungry. I'm telling you. Aboniki, the yellow one, nothing like it. Nothing like it. Gusike here, one chance. I guess because of me that a church or a mosque after. That's not a customary marriage. I've seen and it's a certificate from a mosque is after an Islamic marriage, but a certificate from a church is not customary marriage. I'm not sure who's customary marriage is what we call engagement. That's what customary marriage is. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Filed for overseas spouse May 2024. When takes for the approval, uscis.gov/person times. We'll give you the person time for that. Okay. Please, how long do you wait to be able to file for work authorization if you have a pending asylum case? 150 days. So 150 days calculated from when if you look at your asylum receipt notice, the date on it, if you filed it with USCIS, 150 days from the received date. If you filed with the court and go on your page, whatever date you have stamped, or if you have a physical copy, whatever date you have stamped that you filed, it count 150 days from then. Immediately after my interview, my case changed. My change to, or you mean your case changed to cases being actively reviewed? What does that mean? It just means they're actively reviewed, so they may make a decision on. Usually, they do that if they're going to approve your case almost immediately, and sometimes you may also see that, or sometimes it will change to your interview has been completed. Your case must be reviewed. But when I say case actively reviewing your case, most of the time they probably would approve your case. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that may be it. But it's also a fallback default status for most cases. Any idea why VAR I-485 was transferred to NBC? Just part of the routine processing adjudication process of a VAR case. Okay, I think who should write the letter? What letter? Oh, letter from the court to say that that was the typographical error was on their part. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, I think we got to all questions tonight, and so like I've been advices early nights, which really I do need. I have criminal court tomorrow morning. I'm gonna watch I'm telling you, sometimes like why? I do I do immigration practice, criminal defense, and family law. There are three areas of practice that are highly contentious in adversarial. I don't know. It's not like I enjoy arguing like that. I take that back. Um, Professionally, I do. In my personal life, I don't look for trouble unless you look for my trouble first. I think, I don't know. Ask my mother for people who deal with me, but it is what it is. So I quit in the morning, but I think we got to all questions. And so once again, talking about traveling, consult with your attorney for on your specific case, because they are working on your case and they know your history more than anyone else. If you don't have a lawyer on your case before you travel, please take precautions. And if your travel is not absolutely necessary, going to see your child can also be considered necessary if you haven't seen that child in years. But if you're just going just on vacation, like 5 days to Mexico on advanced parole, you just have to make sure that based on your specific circumstances, it is safe enough to do that. There's just no telling what's going on. These people are deporting any and all people, including citizens have been deported alongside their own undocumented parents. This is not hearsay. This is something that's on the news, verified. So just take caution. But in all of that, we know that there is nothing that is going to touch us. So I put up, I do we have someone who does our social media, but the inspirational post, I do that myself because that's obviously something I think about, and I wake up and I usually come up with something after I do my devotion and meditation in the morning. Got to start my day that way because, even then I still end up cussing people out, but at least I can go back to that foundation. But in all seriousness, this morning I was just thinking about all of this that's going on, and I was like, you know what, let's put our names before the altar of grace, because that is our daily identification. If they're talking of trying to get information about people, they have to get your name, right? So that's the name that we've been given. That's the name God has called us. Why don't we cover those names, our children's names, with the blood of Jesus, and agree in faith? So tonight we agree in faith that wherever our names are mentioned, because we are covered by the blood, our names will be exempt from embarrassment. Our names will be exempt from deportation. Our names will be exempt from disappointment. Our names will be exempt from disgrace. God will protect us. Our names are covered by the blood. Our children's names are covered by the blood. Where our names are mentioned, they would visit us with grace and favor. Wherever our names are mentioned, it will be for our good. Wherever our names are mentioned, it will be to bring us breakthroughs in every situation. Wherever our names are mentioned, it will be for our good and not for our evil. Wherever our names are mentioned, because we have been covered by the blood, and because that is our identification, we'll be identified for favor. We will be identified for mercy, for goodness, and for elevation and uplifting. We shall be exempt from anything that will cause us to live in sorrow. We shall be exempt from anything that will bring us pain. We shall be exempt from anything that will bring us grief. So shall it be. We've got to get up each day and speak that over yourself. Speak that over your children. Before you start out of your house, whatever may be out there, whatever people are getting, caught up in, your name will be exempt from, because your name will be exempt from it. Our name shall be exempt from it. We shall also be exempt from it. And the coverage of the blood around us, the fire of the Holy Spirit encompasses us. We remain untouchable by evil ones. Wherever it is that we go, the shield of God will guide and guard us. So shall it be now and always. In Jesus' name. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye, everybody.